Alright, let's take a look. Unpacking some standards. Narrative writing for grade 7, core English, which is an English foreign language setting, because it's in Turkey, Izmir in particular, where this is going to take place. The standards. I have chosen 4 standards to go over. They're all connected together like a barrel of monkeys. They all came from Izmir Sev Middle School standards and benchmarks the policy we have. I shared a link to it on the submission page. 4 standards. Let's unpack them. Standard 1 is about narrative writing, and it's a cluster. In the cluster, the particular cluster for grade 7, now our standards at our school, we have them broken down from kindergarten all the way until high school, and they connect together. So grade 6 for narrative writing works on orientation, or orienting the reader, organizing the sequences, using a dialogue and descriptions, has a wider variety of transitional words and phrases, concrete words and phrases for sensory details, and giving a better conclusion in their narrative writing. That's part 1. Part 2, the second standard, is overall it goes from all types of writing, but it's for narrative writing, produce clear and coherent writing. And particularly for grade 7, it just says number 4 is connected to 1 through 3 standards for the writing types. And it's all focusing on writing it better than it was in the grade level before it. Number 5, writing descriptor number 5, is developing and strengthening writing. Particularly for grade 7, yes, you still get guidance from the teacher, but it's focus on a topic and strengthen that type of writing. The second one is using technology with the help of teacher or a support from an adult to be able to publish their work. What is the next standard? The last standard is writing routinely. Writing routinely is essential for all the other ones to build up the narrative writing. If they don't use it routinely, they will forget it, they'll lose their ability on it. So writing routinely over an extended period of times, both longer and shorter times, helps build this up. So particularly grade 7 is writing routinely, but discipline specific tasks, meaning it's specific for a certain style. So I'm going to be routinely having my students write narrative writings and components of it, shorter and longer pieces of work. Now let's compare and contrast the 4 standards. How are they the same and how are they different, like an apple and an orange? Here, when I compare and contrast and I look at them, they all have literacy skills in as part of the goal. They all develop the writing skill. Great. The main difference between them is the third one focuses on understanding of narratives in particular. The 4th one and the 5th one covers all writing types. The 4th one is focusing on the structure, and the 5th one is improving the writing, in particular to the literacy skills of writing. And the last one focuses on the routine and the development of understanding. Without a routine, you're going to have a hard time improving and understanding this further, deeper knowledge. The big idea from all this, what can we take out of these 4 standards besides narrative writing? Well, we have a big idea for the whole year. That writing is important to communicate. And understanding communication makes you a better writer. That's the whole year big idea. So let's dial it into the unit. Now, I provided a quote there, but the quote basically says is, we as humans, we like to give narratives and stories. And we went from speaking it to writing it, and now we're on social media, text, emails, this modern thing, and we're going to continue it into the future. So the big idea for this unit is to write narratives with purpose, cohesion, while improving literacy skills. That's the big idea. So what we're trying to do and accomplish is improve their writing skills, improve their cohesion of the whole, and the writing skill itself, or the literacy skill in writing in general. What is the goal? What is our target? Where are we going for this? The goal is that students will be able to cover these. Write for a purpose, write to an audience, and they can choose, or they know what audience they're writing to. Write for a stimulus, which means they're giving a prompt, and if there's a time constraint, they can do it. So if they're sitting in a test, they're at work, they can handle it. To generate drafts, revise, and edit, and improve their ideas all on their own in written format, and then display, meaning publish their work effectively. What skills do they need? What do they need to bring to the table? What are they going to take with them? Well, the skills they need and to develop to be able to get to the goal, the mastery section, obviously you got all your planning, editing, drafting, revising, stuff with the basic writing skills. But you have to have reading comprehension because you have to read a prompt. You need to be able to construct a sentence, then a coherent paragraph, and then work on the genre and content knowledge. After that, you need to have, and they will be building, self-regulation, grammar knowledge, communicating, collaborating, writing in peer groups with their friends, and peer editing, and then writing structures. These skills are quintessential for being able to do this. Projects, activities. What will be done to help build and foster this? The projects and activities that I've chosen are like daily writing, sentence strips, peer editing, revising editing. One of the most important activity I chose is the teacher meeting. Because the teacher is going to have the students work in small groups and do one-on-one with each student to be able to focus on them, explain to them, and work with them to have them understand where they're proficient at and where they're weak at and how they become a better self-directed learner. The second thing is the projects. 2 projects of narrative writings, which will include a publishing the work and also publishing an audio section to the work. Giving the auditorial feature to the writing that they've written helps a second language learner. And here you can see a list of all the activities I was planning to do and a little brief description about them for them. Now this PowerPoint will be shared on my submission page, so you can look at it there if you want to read this in detail, but basically it gives the details to the activities, what they're going to be doing. Assessment. How will we check or measure what they have learned? How close they are to the goal? Well, we're going to use it many different ways, but we're going to look at the students' mastery. How do they master it? And it will be done both via formative and summative assessments with guidance along the way. Ultimately, these assessments focus on the standard, literacy skills, and 21st century skills. Literacy of planning, editing, revising, and publishing, for example, and 21st century skills, creative, collaboration, technology. These are examples of what we're going to be focusing on there. Formative assessments, there's many different ones. The main ones will be the entrance, exit tickets, teacher observations, individual student meetings, one-on-ones where they do goal settings and reflective cycles, and then worksheets. Summative will be done through a rubric-based assessment and time learning tests. So we'll have the projects themselves, and then later on in the year we'll have a test where they actually have a writing prompt on there and it's in a time setting, and it'll have a rubric. To achieve mastery, the student will be needing to be able to write a short narrative that is coherent, clear, understandable, and it will show the planning was involved, editing was involved. So it'll be a lengthy process to showing mastery is able to be done. For more information, please look at my submission page. The copy of this PowerPoint's there, and thank you.